Okay, class, welcome back to English 1301. Let's talk about the memoir, your first major portfolio. Let's talk about when it's going to be due to start with. Let's talk about how you're going to turn it in. Okay, class, first of all, excuse me, I have two online classes this semester 11454 and 11418. You're going to turn in this essay, and I'm here to help you with this on the 21st. So that is our deadline. According to our calendar, will be turned on the 21st of September. My other two classes that I'm teaching of English 1301, these are the classes that meet Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in class, 11432 and 11434. According to our calendar, you're going to complete the finished draft of this essay and turn it in on September 22nd. Now, in those days when you turn them in, excuse me, class, you want to turn them in sometime that day. You will have up until that night at 11:59 to get the essay in on time. Once it becomes midnight, it'll become the next day and it'll be one day late. So as long as you get it in that day, it will be marked on time. Okay. Now, one of the things that tonight I'm going to send you the hookup for the Writing Center. Every essay will be workshopped with the Writing Center. Okay. And if you go to just the EPCC homepage and put in Writing Center, it'll give you a tutorial and send you right there. Also, send you the hookup for it tonight when I post this video, and it'll be there. Okay, so you're going to have a representative from the Writing Center look over your essay. The Writing Center helps people. It helped me when I was at the community college. Will it do everything for you? No. Will it help you? Yes. Who's going to help you the most? Yourself. But it will catch errors, and they will help you with things like certainly, basic issues, basic problems, issues with maybe grammar, syntax, sentence structure. And I'm here to help you with that too when I grade your essays. So on those deadlines we just talked about, and I'll remind you in the memo that I'm going to send you, what are you going to turn into me? First draft, final draft, Writing Center verification. Okay. First draft, final draft, Writing Center verification. Okay. And I will talk about that tonight. I will also send you a memo that shows you exactly what a perfectly formatted essay, once again, looks like. And I will send that. It already talks about on your syllabus, it talks about 1-inch margins, double spacing throughout, including between paragraphs, proper indentations, a normal essay that looks the same pretty much now as it did 100 years ago. But I will send you a template of exactly what that essay is going to look like. Centered title, 12-point type, Times Roman, New Times Roman, Courier, New Courier, according to, once again, our directions, 1-inch margins, 12-point standard typeface, Courier, Times Roman, and then each paragraph that you start will be indented. This is standard MLA excuse me, formatting for turning in a college level English essay. And then I'll help you with that class. Okay? So, first draft, final draft, writing center verification. Where are you going to turn this in? You're going to turn it in through Blackboard, and just simply, even though I'm using Blackboard Ultra, when you go to turn in your essay, just turn it in through messages. So many of you I've replied to through messages. I've gotten back to everyone who has written to me this semester. So when you turn in your essay, you're going to mark it first draft, final draft, writing center verification, and you will turn in 3 separate documents. After you go to the writing center, just ask the writing center for a little piece of paper that you can send to me. You can send it to me as a PDF. You can send it to me as a Microsoft Word document. Okay. Send me your work through messages and I'll look for it. When you send your work in, your name will pop up automatically. Mark it first draft, final draft, writing center verification, 3 different documents. I'll look them over and then I'll grade your essay through Blackboard messages. Okay? Very good, class. So let's move on from there. And just send them together through Blackboard messages. That's the way I've done it for years now, and it's helped me through Blackboard. Now, so we've talked about those deadlines. We'll talk about where we are. Let's talk a little bit about the memoir that you're writing for me, class. Now, one of the things that I want to discuss with you in class, this is all work that I'm going to be illuminating from our readings, from these handouts we've had. Memoir, Recalling Personal Experience with the Great Essay by Gary Soto. Throwing Snowballs by Annie Dillard. And of course, class, let's see what else I have everything printed out here. Memoirs Recalling Personal Experience. Okay. These are the main handouts that we'll be going over, and we have, of course, a few other ones that are all tools for, once again, you writing this essay. So, one of the things I want to talk about, class, is the challenge of writing from recall. You may find that the minute you are asked to write about a significant experience in your life, the very incidents will flash to mind. But most writers need time, class, to once again to shake down their memories. So that's what you're in the process of doing now. Some students have written to me in class when we've been talking, said, Mr. Welsh, I'm ready to roll. Should I roll? Should I start writing? You may. Okay. And then I'd help them once again. One of the main things you want to think about is, class, focus. Most writers, though, will need time, though, in their focus to shake down their memories. So, probably what will come to you first will be recent memories, but give. Long ago memories, time to surface too. Be ready for recollections that well up unexpectedly, often when you are busy doing something else, observing a scene around you, talking with someone, reading about someone else's experience. The activity can trigger a recollection from the past. So, when you were reading Gary Soto's great memoir, Black Hair, and all your essays will be 700 to 1,000 words, this memoir will be. When you were reading Gary Soto's Black Hair and seeing what he went through in that essay at 17, maybe that was once again a springboard for you thinking about something that happened to you when you were that age, or maybe younger, that you could write about, that you could write your essay about. Gary Soto is a 17-year-old runaway from Fresno, California, excuse me, who went to Los Angeles, Glendale, and worked in the tire factory. Okay. It's a beautiful memoir. Okay. In and out of events and time phrase during that. Or maybe when you were reading Annie Dillard's Throwing Snowballs, once again. 9-year-old girl in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, in the snow, class, in the snow, hitting that dude in the head with a snowball, and then her being chased all over Pittsburgh, terrified as a young girl. Okay. Memoir, focus. How am I going to focus the essay, class? So you may already know what, once again, you're going to write about. If not, the time is now to get moving. Try brainstorming. Class, brainstorming is a good way to jog your memory. When you brainstorm, you try to come up with as many ideas as you can without any thought for the form or the practical application. You just jot down ideas for a certain amount of time to see where your thoughts leave you. Class. So, brainstorm. You may have a loose idea of what you want to write about, or a time or a thing, and then, the idea is, I would, set your clock or your phone or whatever for 20 minutes. And then during that time, just, pen and paper, whatever you have, you can even do it on a computer, start throwing it down, right? Start brainstorming. See, brainstorming, we're just trying to get words on the page, right? Words on the page. And say you set your alarm for 15 or 20 minutes, and then once again, keep the pen moving. Be kind to yourself. Don't think about the form. Don't think about sentence structure. Just try and get words on the page. And class, when you go back to it, when the alarm rings, you'll be amazed what could be down there. That could very well be the start of your essay. This is just one of my journals. Like I said, if you're going to do this sort of thing, I'm going to do this sort of thing too. I do it all the time. And brainstorming helps us get literally out of the head and into the heart. So just write, as fast as you can go, not thinking about word choice. You try and get things down on the page. That could be the start of your essay. You can't finish an essay or even write one when you have nothing. So be good to yourself, kind to yourself, and start getting things, once again, down on the page. Be part of it. And then when the alarm goes off, look over your brainstorming, your fast writing, 15, 20 minutes. Look at it, say, wow, okay, now I see. Now maybe I see where I'm going to start this essay. Okay. So you want to ask yourself, if you're still not just haven't decided what you want to write about, I'll give you some questions here that'll help you. You can ask yourself, did you ever break an important rule or rebel against authority? Did you learn anything from your actions? Did you ever break an important rule or rebel against authority? What happened? What happened? Something happened that night. Did something happen that day? I've heard students write essays about senior ditch day or ditching school. What happened? Can you drop us in that scene? What did you learn from it? Class, what did you learn? an important rule or rebel against authority. Most of us, before we die, we're going to rebel against something. It could be the cops, it could be a teacher, it could be a principal at a school, it could be the religion you grew up in, it could be a parent or a grandparent or mother and father, it could be a grandmother or grandfather. I don't know. Do you have to rebel? No. Chances are by the time you die, you will rebel against something. Something in your life. What happened when you were the rebel? Or if that happened. Class, another question you can ask yourself could be the start of the essay. Did you ever succumb to peer pressure? What were the results of going along with the crowd? What did you learn? I've read essays of students getting drunk and having some problematic outcome of that. Maybe the first time you ever smoked marijuana, if you did. Class, if you never have, don't worry about it. You're not missing anything. If you did, I can't control anything. What happened? Was it good? Was it bad? Did you end up getting stoned? Did you not end up getting stoned? I don't know. These are things that can happen in life. Peer pressure. Maybe some time where you had sex and you didn't want it, or you didn't feel you were ready for it, class. Or somebody, I don't know, peer pressure. My son had some friends that were out at Red Sens this summer. He just graduated high school about a year ago. I think they were doing some things out they shouldn't have been doing. And 3 a.m. in the morning, they were on a 4-wheel drive, and one of the guys got really hurt. Class, peer pressure. What was the result of going along with the crowd? Did you learn anything? These are all things you could write essays about. Drop us in to that date in time of the peer pressure. Could have happened. Class, did you ever have, a big time, first time thing that something happened that was powerful? Maybe a spiritual experience. I've had students write about them feeling the power of God or Jesus or maybe one of the saints or maybe Allah or something in a Buddhist practice or maybe the Native American Red Road of spirituality, a spiritual occurrence. Maybe, you had a spiritual experience that happened in a Catholic Mass. Can you write about that? It's positive things. A first. Maybe you had something spiritual that happened in the desert. How about the first time you won a football game? Could you write about that? Or the championship game in high school, whatever it was. Maybe you came in first in a band event, or you went to divisional title in basketball, but you didn't win or you did win. Write about that game. Tell us, how about the first time you felt that you were in love? How about get us down to that date and time when you found out you were pregnant? These are all firsts that you could write about. Any of these things, class. Class, did you ever regard a person in a certain way and then have to change your opinion of him and her? Maybe someone you held in high esteem and then you found out some family members, some then found out that they were involved in an armed robbery. Can you write about that? Or maybe a teacher that you held in a certain way and then something happened where you didn't put them in that high regard before or after, whatever happened. Did you ever have to choose between two equally attractive alternatives? How might your life have been different if you had chosen differently, class? Sometimes it happens with school. You never know. I've had students who have gone away to school and then come back and they're at the community college after going away to Harvard or Princeton or um, University of Texas or Texas A&M, then they come back. You know, they got accepted to these schools, but what would have been happened differently maybe if they'd gone to the community college for 2 years, got some maturity, and then went off? I don't know. But life is full of crossroads. We come to these crossroads. Which way are we going to go? What decision are we going to make, class? A lot of goodness in life. There's a lot of hope. Class, I hate to bring this one up, but sometimes it happens. Have you ever been appalled by witnessing an act of prejudice or insensitivity? What did you do? Do you wish you had done something different? Put us in that place. Put us in that night. I hope none of you have ever had to go through that. I have over the years. I had certainly went through it where I grew up, Went through a lot of it. There's a lot of insensitivity in my neighborhood and prejudice. Prejudice because, I could lie about this or tell the truth. We're like one of the only white families left in the neighborhood where I grew up in South Central LA. So it's just kind of tough, There's a white boy, let's kill him, There's a lot of prejudice down there. I knew there problems all around. Other people had suffered insensitivity and prejudice, and the prejudice would come on me. And then, I don't know, man. These are just things of life. Have you ever had to deal with anything because maybe of your size or your sexual orientation or your race or your culture or your language? I hope not. I don't want anyone to go through that. Chances are sometimes in life people do. Can you write about it? Can you write about it? Class, was there ever a moment in your life when you decided to reform, to adopt a whole new outlook? How would you characterize your attempt? Successful, unsuccessful, laughable, painful? I had a student a few semesters ago who came to me, and this is before COVID, and he said, Mr. Welsh, I'm dying. And I liked him, man. I said, well, what are you dying from? And he said, well, I'm out partying every night. I'm drinking. He said, I'm doing a lot of cocaine. Mr. Welsh, you seem like an all right guy. I thought I could share this with you. And I told him, I'm glad you did. I said, what do you want to do? He said, I want to stop. I said, the good thing to know is you can. You can. No one has to just die anymore for the La Vida, for the life. I said, I help you. I said, I know some places you could go to rehab. You can get on the right foot. He may not have gotten it. He may have. He was unable to pass my class because he wasn't doing the work, but I liked the guy. I don't judge any student. English 1301 was going to happen for him that semester because he was hitting it too hard every night. He wasn't getting his work done. Class, that didn't mean he wouldn't get his work done the next semester. I never judged anyone. I was just kind to him and let him know that there's hope out there, that he didn't have to drink himself to death, that he didn't have to do so much coke that his heart would break. I liked him. He wanted to reform. I had another student one time told me, he was an old student, told me, said, I'm going to try and quit smoking cigarettes. He wrote me an essay about the day he decided, class, to quit smoking. It's hard. Some people, I know one guy told me it was harder quitting the cigarettes than it was heroin. I don't know. I'm just reporting these things. Or you're going to reform. I had a student wrote an essay about, this was quite a few years ago. She's part of that rave scene or EDM, electronic dance music scene. She's doing a lot of ecstasy, a lot of drinking. She woke up in a hospital, wrote me this essay about when she decided to give that life up. Class, she was an intense student in my class. Had given that life up a couple years ago, was real serious. Wrote me a beautiful essay that opened up in the hospital. She was able to reform. Class. So those are a bunch of possibilities. Maybe the first time you felt love. Maybe the first time your first love, if you ever had one, broke up with you. You had your heart broken. Class, try reading it, Ronnie. If you have still difficulty recalling a meaningful experience, that's what we want these essays to be about, a meaningful experience. Maybe it was a meaningful experience the day you graduated from high school. Class, all that stuff is important, if you can recall it. I'm real serious. I think all these things are important, class. If you still have difficulty, though, recall a meaningful experience, spend 10 or 15 minutes, class, free writing. Free writing is writing that you don't pay for. Get out your notebook and hit it fast. Simply writing without stopping. Whatever comes into your head. If you think you have nothing to say, this is one of the favorite things I like, man. Be writing real fast on some paper. And then if you get stuck, write like this. Write like this. If you get stuck, write like this. It tells us. You get stuck, write, I have nothing to say. 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 And then what generally happens is sooner or later you're going to break through, I have nothing to say, and then more words are going to start coming. It's a mystery, class. It's fascinating. Be kind to yourself. Be good to yourself. Remember, you're a work in progress, like I'm a work in progress. Get some words on the page. Get some words on the page. And give yourself to the process. Give yourself to writing and shut down the voices. Voices tell you, you know what I mean, I'm not very good, or my English isn't very good, or I was never. Forget all of that. Class, I have those voices too. Every time I go to pick up my pen, which is every day, 7 days a week for 35 years, sometimes I'll hear a voice and be like, you know what, Larry, you're not very good. You know what, Larry, you're not very bright. You know what, Larry, you grew up in the wrong neighborhood. You know what, Larry, you should have done a bit better in high school. And I have to tell the voices, shh, quiet. And then I go and write, I go and write. Because I have to be me. I want you to be you. I got to be an individual. I have to keep with the process. I'm a writer. Writers write. Then writers publish or try to. Done that too. And keep going. Fast. So class, do some free writing. Be good to yourself. A lot of you like writing. Some of you don't. It's all right. Doesn't make any difference. Just do it. Whatever comes to your head. If you think you have nothing to say, write, I have nothing to say over and over until ideas come. They will come. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about punctuation. Don't worry about coherence. When you read what you have written, you may be surprised to find that the germ of a good paper is in their class. Excuse me. I got a few allergies, but I'm doing all right. So, I hope that helps. Class, let me continue with this. I gave you this handout starting on 170 with some homework. Memoirs, recalling personal experience. Class, let's go to page 171. Now, this is going to really help you. This is the actual writing of the paper. It says, one of the things you could do is if you don't have your topic yet, or the event, or the meaningful experience, recall a person, place, or event from your past and write a memoir. Person, place, or event from the past and write a memoir. There it is. You will want to use These are what are going to be in your essays, like Gary Soto and like Annie Dillard, Black Heron throwing snowballs. You want to use detail and sensory impression to recreate the moment for your readers. Remember that the point of a memoir, as you have seen, is to reveal the meaning of the past so that readers can understand the significance your memories hold for the present. So it's fantastic. All these things that happen to us in the past shape us for the present. Good things, bad things, whatever. We're all a compilation of these things that have happened to us, And then we can move on. And then we can change. And then we can, we don't have to die for the past. Okay. Since memoirs function to help both writers and their readers extend the past, this assignment can be a good time for you to probe significant times in your life, revisiting them now that you have some distance from them. You can learn more about yourself in the present by looking into events in your past. You might decide to begin with some of the ideas listed below, and you did this for homework. I want to talk about this. Or you might try some of the exercises in the sections that follow. This is what we're talking about here. It says, focus on a job you have held in the past, as Gary Soto does. How could you reconstruct the experience of work in order to reveal something it's about its significance to you and others? Okay, so that could be, did something big happen to you in a job or something meaningful? Gary Soto, man, gives us a lot about the tire factory. Can you let us something know about life, about what happened to you at a job? And think about in the focus, maybe it happened one day, maybe one afternoon. Okay. Focus on a job. Posse, do you have to? Maybe some of you haven't worked. That's all right. But that's a possibility. Class, pick a photograph. Pick a photograph that holds memories and emotional associations. You might, for example, focus on a particular detail that recalls a particular moment in the past to explore how your family's history intersects larger social and historical forces. Look through old photo albums, scrapbooks, and collages if you have them. So sometimes, class, looking at a photo could be a springboard for a memory, for a time. I've read good essays before of things happening at family reunions, quinceañeras, funerals, birthday parties. Class, maybe some of the people are no longer there now. Could be a meaningful thing. Class, recall a particular ritual, such as visits to the grandparents, Sunday dinners, summer vacations, holiday celebrations, weddings, and so on, as a way to focus on an event or a person that is as specifically significant to you. So maybe, the thing about a lot of my students have memories of their grandparents. Some of your grandparents may still be alive, some not. Can you write about something significant that happened? Sunday dinners, summer vacations, holiday celebrations, weddings, and so on. Class, that could be your essay. Something happened. Maybe at a family dinner. Class, consider, number 4, some aspect of your own cultural ancestry. This is really great when you're dealing with your ancestry. Whether it's the language your ancestors spoke. Some of you speak it. Excuse me, some don't. Excuse me, a kind of food or music, class. A family tradition, an heirloom that has been passed down from generation to generation to explain how the past has entered your life and at what it reveals about your relationship to the culture of your ancestors. So that's heavy, class. We're dealing with language. We're dealing with people. We're dealing with culture. When you're writing about ancestry, culture, and language, your own, it's important. I've spent my life doing it too. Class, focus on a childhood incident, as Annie Dillard does, to recreate the event in your own perspective as a younger person. Drop us in that place. Maybe it was a summer day in Mexico and something happened. Maybe it was a few years ago. I had a woman who's about 50 years old in my class. She's from Detroit, Michigan. She's out here working at Walmart. When she took my class, she wrote me a beautiful, beautiful essay about a family reunion, man, outside of Detroit. Beautiful, beautiful essay, man. I've read a lot of good essays over the years. Class number 6, look through an old diary or an old journal. If you have kept one, excuse me. Look for moments when you faced an occasion that challenged your values or where you had a difficult decision to make. Experienced a situation that turned out unexpectedly or were keenly disappointed. Consider using these memories as the starting point for your memoir in which you can reflect upon the expression and put it in a larger content. Okay. And then, class, in your memoirs, you are going to have, class, as it talks about in our other final handout that I gave you, you will have to put in action. You are going to put in dialogue. You are going to put in, class, once again, specific details. You're going to put your folks, your people, in once again in action to move the story along. Okay. Dialogue where people are talking. Action in the narrative where things are happening. Set the scene. Set the scene. Like Gary Soto does and Annie Dillard is. Drop us into it, class. Drop us in to the scene. And in the end, each of you will have within your essay, excuse me, that illumination on letting the reader know what you learned. So, dialogue, action, details, recreate for the reader, once again, class, people's mannerisms, their styles. You lay it on as you would, like painting a picture, only you're doing it with sentences. Okay. So, class, we talked about techniques. We talked about deadlines. We talked about you sending in your essays on that deadline date. 3 documents. The essays are going to be, the final draft has to be a Microsoft Word document. You can have the rough draft or first draft as a Microsoft Word document too. JPEG or PDF or Microsoft Word document. For the Writing Center verification, send it through Blackboard Messages. It'll pop up under your name. 3 things you're going to send me. Attachments. Mark them. First draft, final draft, Writing Center verification. And then I'll start going through these and grading these. I'll keep detailed notes for every student. Every time I write to you this semester, I'll note it. Every time I ask you to make an adjustment, I note it. Every time when your essay receives a grade, finally, I will note it. And that's where we are in regards to the semester. So, as promised, when I send you this message, I will have the hookup for the writing center. Okay, and I'll let you know. And I'll let you know that I posted this video. And I think other than that, we're in very good shape. So, class, once again, good luck with these. I've talked to a good few students. Some students have written to me. I've gotten back to them. If we have, I think we may have one more final handout, excuse me, before you start writing. But you can be writing now. So with that said, class, I think that covers everything that we needed to cover. And on my list of things here. And class, with that said, I'm wishing you well. Okay, have a great weekend or the rest of this week, and good luck making a deadline for this essay. And then once again, spend time and make sure that you have digested all these handouts, because these are all the instructions that we have and the other ones that'll help you write once again, a first rate essay. And remember here, class, I'm here to help you. Oh, yes, I'm going to also, well in advance, before this essay is due, I'll send you that mock-up of a perfectly formatted, once again, essay and the way it is going to look. Okay, perfectly formatted essay. Basically, in the upper left-hand corner, you'll have your name, single-spaced, English 1301. You'll have the section number of the class. You'll have the date, upper left-hand corner of the paper, and then you will have my name, Welsh, and that's what you will follow. And then, like within any essay, then you will once again center your title. Notice even on here, indented paragraphs, double spacing. You'll let the essay go from there. So when I send you that exact replica of the way an essay looks, once again, study that. Upper left-hand corner, your name, single space. Upper left-hand corner, English 1301, single space. Upper left-hand corner, section number for the class. Upper left-hand corner, the date you turn it in. Upper left-hand corner, my name. Put your machine, your computer on double spacing. Center the title, 12-point type. Underline the title. Come down, indent your paragraph. Start your essay. Start your essay and then let it roll from there. Once again, 700 class. Once again, to 1,000 words. And with that said, class, I'm wishing you well and good luck as you continue to draft these. And I look forward when the time comes to reading those and spending time with them. And class, with that said, have a great evening, a great day tomorrow, a nice weekend. Keep up your hard work at the community college. And as the Irish always say, good luck, good luck, good luck. I'm wishing you well. Take care.